Oh, it's a snatcher. There's a gray one, too. Looks like he's got something. Hold up. He's coming. I don't want to waste my time on here. I got a story to tell. Hold up. I'm trying to get some of this off here. So we can give you something else to look at. That's really icy down there at the bottom. Anywho. Okay. I almost fell backwards. I have a story to tell. All my life, well, first of all, I gotta start with a warning, okay? This is the heart-wrenching story, and it's gonna break your heart. Do I have hairs that are too long in my face? Because I feel them. Anywho, okay, my warning. Okay, if you don't want to hear a heartbreaking story about someone getting hurt, you probably don't want to stick around, because this is gonna tug at some strings. Oh, I just heard the toilet flush. Okay, I don't want to run out of time, and I don't want this battery to run out of juice. Okay, this story, turn sideways, is about this girl right here. Okay, and another picture of her is right there. Okay, you see her? You see her? Do you see her? She was 10 years old, and see, I was thinking, like, you know, this isn't my story to tell, but in a way it kind of is. There's a story right here, but I've got a little bit of insight that these stories you can find online, what they don't got. All my life I've been hearing that, oh, that little blonde girl could have been you. That could have been you. Oh, that could have been you, that little blonde girl. By my dad. So, I went and put out there, you know, okay, I was friends with a boy named Jason McCracken, okay? And his sister Lindsay, I don't know why she had a problem with me, but she did. She was a bully. And in 7th grade, we would always find ourselves in Brother Grishai's class. It wasn't a Catholic school or anything. It wasn't any kind of religious school. Brother Grishai is just what he went by. It was Lincoln Middle School, one of the schools Eminem went to. And she was mean to me. I don't know why. She had a sleepover one day back when we were in elementary school. We were just kids. And I don't even remember being invited to this thing. But my dad said that they had a sleepover over there, and I asked if I could go. And that sleepover, all hell broke loose. And it says that, you know, the kids went to bed, in the articles it says the kids went to bed around midnight. And that neighbors seen the gray van out by the house at like 3 a.m. And that they even saw the little girl being removed. And, oh my goodness, it's so horrible. Alright. Apparently the dad was sending the buddies in there to grab his kid or some junk. And they were supposed to grab Lindsay. They grabbed Deanna Seifert instead. They grabbed the wrong little blonde girl. That my dad would always say that could have been this little blonde girl. And, but yeah, I'm all jumbled. I've already told this story, but it was on pause, and I don't know what all I missed, so. But yeah, no, we stood out by her house for weeks with our candles lit. We tied yellow ribbons around all the trees. We were hoping she'd come home. She never came back to us. She was in 4th grade. She was 10 years old. Okay, And when they finally did find her, and the guy Andrew Trombley is the guy that they found blood on his shoe and junk, and he was 22 at the time. He had long dark hair like my dad did, and like every other guy in this area. And he's a white guy. He sent his white buddies in there. They were supposed to grab the little blonde. They grabbed the wrong little blonde, and they found her with here's where the warning comes, okay? This is the horrific shit this is where we're getting into it, okay? In the thick of it. Alright. She still had her nightgown on, and her panties, they found them inside out. And there was 3 different pubic hairs from 3 different men found embedded in the panties. And in her clothes, they found embedded in was clothes from out of the guy's house and out of his van. And they found her fingerprints in his van. And my brother Larry said that when she put her hand down on the desk, let me set the peanut down. He said her hand always sat down like this. And him and his friends, they kept on saying, they said, check the van. See if there's any handprints in there where this finger overlaps the pinky. And I don't know if they ever checked that. I don't know. They said that the only way they were able, because the body was so, the only way they were able to find her fingerprints was by going through old things in her bedroom, toys, homework, stuff like that would have her fingerprints on it. They found her head caved in from like a cinder block or like a stump from like a parking area. And they smushed in like a cat carrier and thrown into a dumpster. 10 years old. It's still so heartbreaking to think about it. To remember it. And then the neighborhood right up there by where they have the Warren Parks and Recreation. Did I say that right? Let me show you. Okay. This is a piece of it. Okay. See what it says in the bottom? And hold up. I don't know how well, because I know there's a glare from outside. But anywho, yeah, I felt like it was. Did I hit the? Okay, my thumb hit the screen. I felt like it was a story that needed to be told. I don't know what's happening with Andrew Trombley right now. I don't know if he's coming up to, like, some sort of parole or something. I don't know if I recall correctly, it said 40 to life, right? Or did it say 40? Because my dad got in trouble for some shit, and he got 16 to 40, and good behavior got him out of there in like 13, 14 years. And what he did was pretty brutal. It wasn't no child or anything like that, but, you know, and he's still, yikes. My dad's a story in itself. I mean, seriously. Let me go to the very first bit, because this story that I got out of here, on here, it's very hard to hold these phones right, or the phone tablet. Okay, this, it keeps flipping the page on me. You know what? It's Andrew Trombley, and then for the murder of Deanna Seifert. yeah, it was so sad. She was our friend. She was in my brother's class. And, yeah, she was a friend of ours. She lived just a couple blocks away. We used to hang out all the time. Our parents were friends. There was Deanna and Brian and Bobby. That was her and her two brothers. And then there's me and Larry and Danny, me and my two brothers. So, we had a lot in common. And we would go over their house. They'd come over our house. We would play. We were friends. We hung out. And my dad said I wanted to go to that slumber party, and he wouldn't let me go because they had this thing about kids staying over here and us going over there. And, when we wanted to go hang out other people's houses, we had to sneak out. But, he would always say, oh, that could have been you, and you're lucky I didn't let you go, and yada, yada, this and that. But honestly, like I said, I don't even remember being invited. Because, like I said, me and Lindsay were just not friends. I didn't remember her from elementary, but apparently she went with us. She lived right across the street from Deanna. Mind you, yes, all this happened right across the street. Could you imagine you let your kid go to a sleepover? You think it's safe just because it's just right across the street. You could see. If anything happens, and you could see it's right across the street. Other neighbors saw too. But that gray van it's been there before. Because, they were friends. They, like statistics say. If something happens, one of your kids ends up missing, a lot of times it's somebody you know. Someone that ends up dead. More than likely it's somebody you know. 10 years old. 4th grade. Could you imagine? But yeah, we sat out there for weeks with those candles. And we put up yellow ribbons up around every tree in the neighborhood. We tied them around it. And we had those missing girl posters. And we stuck them everywhere. They were everywhere. The whole neighborhood was worried. And worried to the point they dedicated a whole park to that poor girl. And stuff like that didn't really happen much around here, But you look it up. It's all over the place online. Oh, God, it's heartbreaking. Look at the clock. Okay, I'm gonna hang this up. The wind keeps opening my door. I'm making piles. I haven't had many squirrels come right to me because, it's so windy and they've got to keep their eyes closed, and they're more skittish when it's windy like this. And I don't want to put no peanut butter out because I don't want them to risk coming down and hurting themselves by the wind whacking them off a branch. I've seen one get blown off of a telephone line. It does happen. I'm sure their claws dig into the tree bark better than they grip around the telephone wire, but still. Okay, we're hanging this up. We out. Don't let your kids go to no sleepovers. Be very cautious. Know where your kids are. Know where your kids are. This happened back in 1992. Stuff like that still happens, though. It does. We out this piece. Been real. Deuces.